Also curious about the name of this tea.
It's my favourite, Lapsang Souchong.
Aha.
Yes, I started off drinking Rooibos, which is uncaffeinated, but then I thought I needed something
I really...
for this in order to see the future.
yeah.
Greetings, fans of the esoteric, the stylish, and the surreal, and welcome to another edition of Robert Farrah's Tea and Tarot, recorded specially for your pleasure in Berlin, Neukölln. On the show this week, I will be mentioning a book I've been reading. I give you a little glimpse at a tarot pack I got in the post the other day. And more importantly, I shall be carrying on with my main project, which is sharing tips about how to read the tarot cards. I'm going to be talking about spreads, i.e. how you put your tarot cards down on the table. It doesn't matter how many packs of cards you buy. It doesn't matter how stylish or surreal or gorgeous or devilish they are. You have to get a good spread, because the spread is what makes your reading really pop. For my sins, I'm reading this book, A History of the Occult Tarot. It's by Ronald Decker and Michael Dummett. I'm reading it because Marcus Katz, in his magnum opus, Tarosophy, gives you these reading lists, things that you should read before you can claim to be a well-rounded tarot person. This book's written in what I suppose you would call the academic style of English. They are real historians. They do their work. Respect for that. Sometimes it's a bit like reading Henry James. One sometimes has to pause to search through the perfectly written sentences to find the main verb. But it does occasionally come alive. Like so many of us, they're at their best when they're bitching, these authors. There's a great bit when they bitch about A.E. Waite, the producer of the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot that we know and love so well. If you've ever read anything by A.E. Waite, you will know that he is an unbearable writer, a complete snoot. I suppose in modern parlance we would say full of shit. I mean, he says things like, the tarot is absolutely not intended for fortune-telling, and then, along with the book, he sells a pack of tarot cards which are clearly intended for fortune-telling. Ronald Decker and Michael Dummett are very funny about A.E. Waite, and this did cheer me up, because like everyone else, I like a good bitch. The book is, the odd thing about this book is it's really quite difficult to work out why the book is being written. Is it because these people are what Rupert Sheldrake would call militant atheists and they're trying to stamp out occult practices? Is it because they are secret mystics and they are actually secretly trying to create a coherent history of mysticism and occultism in the Western world? Or is it neither of those two? Is it that they are people who have chosen their subject, and this subject is the tarot pack, and they are just going to write everything they can possibly find about it? It's printed in a slightly sort of old-fashioned way, that the lines are too close together. It's a bit sort of like inky, and you do have to fight your way through pages and pages and pages of tiny little arguments between members of the Golden Dawn. They get to Aleister Crowley and you think, oh gosh, this is going to start being fun. But even the bits on Aleister Crowley aren't all that much fun. But still, I think by the time I've suffered my way through this book, I will be less ignorant than I was when I started off, and that can't be bad. Also, this week I received a pack of tarot cards in the post. I went online and I found a thing called the CS Tarot. And the CS Tarot is, you know, the Waite-Smith tarot pack with different backgrounds put in. They're crackly backgrounds. See that crackly thing? Some of them are quite nice. I mean, they are certainly different. It almost works. The thing about Pam Coleman Smith's designs is that they're charming, and after you've been working with them for 30 years, they're a bit limited, and you kind of wish that you could have a deluxe version. And so people recolour them and add crackly backgrounds, and I'm not quite sure whether it gets us anywhere. This I find a bit too much. Looks like the sort of cocktail they drink in movies about the mafia. I'm not a big fan of the brown border, and even though I'm terribly disapproving of people who trim their tarot cards, I think this might be the time when I dive into that evil practice. But yeah, the bottom line for me is that the printing, in the end, regardless of what they've done on a design level, the printing is not very vivid. You pick up any old Rider-Waite pack, here's a mini from the 90s or whatever, and at least it's kind of vivid, and with this CS tarot, it's a bit milky. Okay, so you've decided which tarot pack to use, and you've got yourself a book of meanings to help you interpret the cards. Now you need to decide which spreads you're going to use. The spread is what gives you focus. It's what enables you to do more than just stare at the card and meditate. So I will now tell you a little bit about 3 different spreads: a 3-card spread, a 7-card spread, and a 12-card spread. I actually don't recommend putting more than 12 cards down on the table initially. It can be a bit confusing. You can get a bit overwhelmed by the information. The 3-card spread is something that you can use at any time of the day in any situation. If you take your tarot cards with you, you might find yourself where you're panicking and you really need a friend's advice. And you can nip into a quiet spot and pop 3 tarot cards down on the table, and that might be able to get you through whatever you're facing. At its most simple, it just goes like this. 3 cards on the table, 1, 2, 3, in a row. To the left, past influences, in the middle where you are now, and to the right where it's going. This gives you a line, like reading a sentence, and it gives you a basic grammar for you to get a feeling for where you are. The spread I use more than any other is the 7-card spread. It's a horseshoe. You might have come across this already. There are always variations. You pop 7 cards down in a kind of a horseshoe shape, and then you have the following structure. First card, past influences. Second card, present influences. Third card, future influences. Going across to the 5th card. The 5th card is the environment. The 6th card is the obstacles. And the 7th card is where this is tending at the moment, where it's probably going to end up. Of course, you can always change that, but this is where you're headed. The 4th card, which maybe you might read last, is the advice card. And that's what's so nice about this spread, that you actually get an advice card from the tarot. But the spread that I want to spend more time on today is the spread of the 12 houses. I studied astrology in my 30s and I was quite into it. I read up quite a lot. I decided not to specialise in astrology. I stayed with tarot. So I don't have a hugely in-depth feel for astrology. I use astrology to help with my tarot reading. In this 12-card spread, we use 12 positions, and they relate to the 12 signs of the zodiac, which in turn relate to the 12 houses in an astrological spread. If you're an expert astrologer, you might disagree with the things I'm saying in the next 5 minutes. My point is that you can design a spread any way you like, any way that's helpful to you. In the case of this astrological spread, which incidentally I didn't invent, but I have adapted it. And what I've done is I've simplified what I found in the astrology books to the point where it's just precise enough to help me to get a feeling for my querent. We put down 12 cards like a clock shape, starting at 9 o'clock and going anti-clockwise because we're such devils. So 9 o'clock is the first house, and as we go anti-clockwise, we go 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. And each of these positions relates to a house, or you could say a sign of the zodiac. I'm more familiar with the signs than I am with the houses, so I just talk about signs when I'm thinking about it here. The first position relating to Aries is really the I am of the spread, and I take it to mean where the querent is at this point. It's the overarching card of the whole reading. So the second position is Taurus. For me, that is money. Clearly, Taurus is much more than that, but I'm just going to take money, finances, what I own. The third position, Gemini. Here I take two things. I take communications and short journeys. Okay. Fourth position, Cancer, home life. Fifth position, Leo. This is one where I take a few things. It's pleasure, it's sex life, it's creativity. It could be your children, given that children are things that you create. Sixth house, Virgo. From this I take two aspects of Virgo, health and work. Seventh house, Libra. I'm just going to say relationships. Eighth house, Scorpio. Now, Scorpio's got a lot in it. And this is one of my innovations. I take this card to signify that which is dying. But let's not be too heavy about it. I take it to signify that which is leaving the life of the querent. Things that have outlived their usefulness. Anything which is just going. And that can be a really nice position to read, because it could be a problem that is leaving the life of the querent. It doesn't have to be bad news. The ninth house, Sagittarius, I take two things. I take the philosophy of the querent, what the querent believes about life, and long journeys. So it mirrors Gemini there. 10th house, Capricorn, simple. Career. 11th house, Aquarius. Social life, but also clubs and societies. So it's your friends, but it's also the people you hang out with. So it might be the people who you make art with, or the people who you sing with, or the people who you do religion with. The 12th house, Pisces. I use one part of Pisces, which is fears and limitations. It can be quite positive to discover that you have a fear or that you have a limitation, because when that comes into consciousness, that can really help to dissolve it. So no offense to any of the Pisceans out there or any of the Scorpios out there. This is just a grid that I have created with the help of obviously the people who came before me, in order to help me focus on the reading, in order to help me divide things up and to make the cards pop and to make the cards communicate. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to invite our flatmate to come and join me, and we will do a try-out reading. We won't be observing social distancing because we live together anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. This is Jacopo.
Hello.
An artist from Rome.
Yes.
Living in Berlin. And Jacopo's our flatmate, and he's going to be a guinea pig, in a sense. And we're going to demonstrate the 12-card reading. So, general reading for you. Mm-hmm. I will shuffle, I'll put the cards down, and all we need to do is hold in our mind the intention that we want to see a 12-card general reading for you as you are now at this moment.
Okay, perfect.
So I can take a deep breath. Mm-hmm. And shuffle the cards. And we want a 12-card general reading for Jacopo now. So what I do now is I cut. You don't have to shuffle. This is my new method. I just do all the work myself, but I do cut it into 3 like that. Mm-hmm. And then I turn up the top card
Okay.
of each pile. This is what I do, ladies and gentlemen, so that the client, the querent, has some involvement in what I'm doing without actually having to touch the cards. So, Jacopo, what you can do now is, which pile would you like us to use? Left pile, middle pile, or right pile?
So I'm very curious or somehow like interested about this heart. So I would say this one in the...
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I take this pile that Jacopo chose, and that's going to be the pile we're going to use. So I put down 12 cards starting at like 9 o'clock, like that. And I go anti-clockwise. I just get them onto the table without really doing any interpretation yet. Oh, that's nice. You've got the sun there.
Wow.
In Capricorn. And I'm going to scoot round. I don't go 1 to 12. I just scoot round, allowing myself to be attracted to certain cards which strike me as interesting or like good news or whatever. The good news of this one is that you have the sun in the 10th position, which is the position of career. And that couldn't be better.
Okay, wow.
Couldn't be
That's
better.
a good news.
It's exactly what you want to have there. The sun is entirely positive, and it has the meaning of applause and recognition.
Wow.
So that's pretty good for career, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So that's the good news. The first card, and you chose this, you were very bold. Jacopo chose the pile which had the Three of Swords reversed on it. And that seems to me a card of, it's a general card. It's quite a difficult card. The Three of Swords is when you go through changes or you have conversations or whatever, or developments that you can't really avoid, but they're kind of difficult. Okay. And so it implies that this whole time in life is kind of difficult, but you have to go through it because you're growing.
Okay,
basically.
I see.
I mean, the Three of Swords sometimes can be a real pain in the ass, but it's always growth. 3 is always growth.
Okay, and can I ask you? It's
Yeah,
maybe
sure.
something. It's about someone or some situations I have to go through.
This is the it is the general tone for the whole time. But we can always do this, ladies and gentlemen. We can always take a second card to add nuance to the first card. I took a second card there, and I got a reversed Wheel of Fortune. And for me, it feels more like you're waiting for, well, in English we say for your boat to come in. You're waiting for your luck to change.
Yes,
this is the Wheel of Fortune is luck. And I think what's a pain in the ass for you at the moment is that you have to wait for the good fortune. It's like slight feeling of, passivity. I've done everything I can do. I'm just waiting to get my break, you know.
Yes, I see.
Yeah. So this gives a mood for the whole time. Here we have the second house Taurus, which refers to what you own. And so for me, that's money, finance. We've got the Nine of Coins, which should be a card of great affluence, but it's reversed. So we're feeling, okay, where's the affluence?
Exactly.
I'm
asking myself the same.
Where's the fucking affluence? So there's that. But we will find the affluence somehow.
Okay.
The third house, I'm taking it as Gemini, as communication, and there is some kind of feeling of difficulty in communication. Okay, so it seems to me that there might be a communication which has been difficult and has caused some kind of feeling of, it's not quite clear. There was a bad conversation or a difficult conversation, and is it okay? Is it not okay? I mean, with the Five of Cups, there's a feeling that 3 cups have fallen over.
Yes.
But there's always 2, also behind you, there's 2 cups that are still standing.
Yes.
So with 5 of Cups, there's always this feeling of, actually, it's not that bad. But there might be this sort of like feeling of, damage or worry about some kind of communication, whether it was a letter or an email or a conversation, I don't know.
This is very touching, because exactly from yesterday and also today, I had an exchange with online about some politics teams. I don't know. It's strange, and we have a huge argument with him.
Oh wow!
That started yesterday, and also today in the morning was going on, and unfortunately we didn't find yet.
So you haven't resolved it?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
I mean, we are trying to, but we are still into this kind of argument. So
okay. Well, here's an easy one which we might have to censor for YouTube, which is, in the house of pleasure, you've got plenty of activity.
All right.
That's not too bad, is it? So basically that is movement and stuff happening and business and business and negotiation. And it can be okay. So it can be frankly, it can be sex, it can be creativity, it can be art.
Okay, yes. Yes.
It could be buying and selling your drawings, for example. There's the feeling of commerce in the Two of Coins. There's ships on the water, it's trade, it's very much, Italian Renaissance Venice, trade with other people and stuff like that.
Okay, I see, yes.
Yeah. It could either be that you're having lots of offers, or it could be that you're selling lots of pictures.
Yeah, I mean, in any case, it's something very positive, so
in any case,
I'm very happy about
we're not
this.
complaining.
Yeah, exactly.
As work. Okay. The sixth house, Hermit. It feels like, and again, so I'm going to come clean here, ladies and gentlemen. I know a little bit about what's happening in Jacopo's life. And it seems to me that this is a bit solitary here. Mm-hmm. And Virgo usually refers to a job. It's not so much about your career.
Okay, yes.
It's about your job. And I mean, some of us don't have jobs, or some of us just have careers, but some of us have a mixture of job and career.
Yes.
And this isn't a problem, the Hermit card. It's a good card because it's a card where you listen to yourself and you have some quiet time. So in the lockdown you have that anyway.
Exactly.
But on the other hand, it doesn't feel like someone who's going to work, so it feels a little bit like you might be still looking for that job, Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
yeah.
I mean, it's like that. So
Yeah.
I'm also, again, a little bit impressed because it's exactly like that in the terms that in these days I'm not having right now a proper job.
Yeah.
But also in my mind I'm thinking about a job which would be like the job, I mean, in the next future, apart art job.
Yeah. It's very good that you are thinking and you go deep and you think, and you need to allow your own desires and your own wisdom to just slowly come up so that you know what to do about this, and how to fix this money thing that you need to fix. Okay, so we do have relationship here. We have the Page of Cups. Mm-hmm. And Page of Cups is a very nice person in the tarot. Page of Cups has a fish jumping out of a goblet there. So the Page of Cups is quite poetic, and the fish is a messenger from the unconscious. Okay. So the Page of Cups, I think, can help you to connect with your unconscious. So it can help you to be artistic, I think, really, knowing you. And so, I know that you're in a relationship. I would guess that that's your partner somehow connecting you with a kind of inspiration. Yeah.
Makes sense in the terms that being with my partner put me in a situation of quiet and peace. Yeah. That also helps me a lot in terms of production of drawings. So
brilliant.
He's a fishes.
Sorry?
He's a zodiacal sign.
He's Pisces.
He's Pisces.
There you are.
We're silly comment.
We're doing very well. I'm glad this is being filmed, ladies and gentlemen. Interestingly enough, in this 8th house position, the way I do do this is that I use this position as things or people who are leaving your life. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but people who are becoming less influential. So it seems to be there's a person there, and I don't know whether it's an ex-partner who becomes gradually less influential. I wouldn't say it's a father figure, because fathers, like, they stay with us. I would say this is someone else. But the King of Cups is quite nice. He is quite creative and quite artistic. He's sometimes not completely connected with the real world because he's so much in his own creative space. So he can be difficult to get through to.
I mean, if I can add something,
please.
Because I'm really a little bit like... I mean, there is something there because... and I also sent a message to a close friend of mine, telling him that that I feel him like distant to me. So because in the next times I'm always asking him to have, like, I don't know, lunch together or a breakfast, and he's sometimes just skipping answer. Can I say in English? Skipping answering. I mean, not answering. And just today I wrote him a message telling him, like, what's going on? Everything is fine.
The ninth house. For this one, I'm going to take long journeys as one of the meanings of the ninth house, overseas journeys. And the 5 of Battens is another pain in the ass card. There's 2 or 3 of them in the pack, ladies and gentlemen.
That's life.
And that's life. And it just seems to me that these long journeys, which we make, you and I, we're immigrants, aren't we? I'm a British immigrant, you're an Italian immigrant. And we connect with our families in Britain or Italy. And what I'm getting here is that it's not easy at the moment, this travelling. So we've got the sun, career. So I predict great things for you. I don't often predict stuff, but I think that's a very good sign. That the tarot has given you the sun card in this great 10th position here at the top of the reading. So it's absolutely lovely. It's shining on the whole reading. And it's a good omen for your career. And I would say something will happen, or is maybe already happening, you don't know. And it'll feel like a validation, an applause, a reward.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the best news you could give me.
Something slightly odd here, which is that in the 12th house, which for me is fears and limitations, there's a female figure, and she's quite a motherly figure. Quite a motherly figure. It's the Queen of Pentacles. Now, that's not necessarily your mother, although it could be your mother. It could possibly be that there is an opinion or a feeling or something in the relationship from your mother that stops you from doing something. This is home life, and this is why it's quite difficult for me to read, because we're at home. Home life is always going to be partly involving me.
Because of the position, or because of the card?
It's the position. It's Cancer and it's home life. So it really refers to the flat, us, all of us here, Kitty. And let's just. But
it looks good.
It's quite good. The thing is, it's reversed.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure, do.
I mean, generally, when the cards are like reversed, it's always something about somehow like a negative aspect of the cards, or.
Well, I mean, sometimes you can have a negative of a negative, which becomes a positive.
Okay.
Or it can be that it's a positive energy which is blocked. And I mean, for me, the reversed world would be, again, waiting for a conclusion. And
yes,
we had here that you're waiting for the wheel of fortune, waiting for your luck.
Yes, okay.
Waiting for your break. This card feels like a lack of movement, a lack of there's something which is unfinished.
No, I have maybe another question if
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
This position about house, maybe, I don't know, I am in a moment of my life where I should maybe have my own house with my partner or buy a house and I'm still somehow,
Yes.
it's very pleasant to be here, but you know, maybe also,
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know, this is my first,
Yes,
I was surprised.
Well, this is the meaning, that's the meaning that I don't want to hear. Because we don't want you to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've decided we're going to leave it there. There's more that we want to speak about, Jacopo and me, but we're going to not do that on YouTube. We're going to do that in private.
Private,
yes. We can go a little bit deeper. But anyway, it's been a really good episode, and it's going to be a long one too, I think. Probably hours. So, see you in 2 weeks' time, and I will do my reading for October. You have been watching Robert Farrah's Tea and Tarot with special guest, the artist Jacopo Bosio. So, bye for now.
Bye. Thank you, Robert.
You're very welcome. Did you enjoy the tea?
Yeah, absolutely. I was, also curious about the name of this tea.